Hello and welcome back to the 90s Match Podcast, your podcast for all things Newcastle United, hosted by three lifelong Newcastle United supporting buddies. Myself, D-Man. I'm joined today by my co-host, AC and Jefferson. You guys good?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
In the lead up to Christmas. Yeah, lead up to Christmas. Merry Christmas in advance.
We don't really look much Christmassy on today's show, do we? I was thinking about this. I was like,
we don't, but we're smiling. That's all that matters, man. We're smiling, so that will help bring in the Christmas cheer. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Get involved with the chat. You know, much appreciated. Yeah, man. We on the back of another win. Really, we didn't really cover. Did we cover the Brentford? Yeah, I'm losing track of time, innit? But on the back of the Brentford Cup game.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We didn't. No.
Yeah. I was traveling up there up to St James's, saw the game live, had a great time. Seen the Tonali brace and that. Yeah, man. See the goals flowing, the wins coming. But
flesh.
Yeah, man. We're going to be talking about the latest victory, yesterday's win against Ipswich Town. 4-0 victory away from home. Good day all around. You know, tribute to Sir Bobby Robson and all of that. But yeah, man, lots to get into. A certain man popped a hat-trick. Yeah. First hat-trick in 5 years. Yeah. Arguably best striker in the league, but we'll get to that. But yeah, man. Let's start from the top, bro. Let's start overall thoughts on the game. So I'm gonna go to you, AC. What are your overall thoughts?
My overall thoughts of the game. I think to myself that it was a game where coming up to it, I think just generally saying, I think the fan base was a little bit nervous because it's a game where like you expect to get points on the board, right? And I think in the past where we expect to get points on the board and then we don't. So I know in the predictions that you both said as well, and you said that it reminds you a lot of the Luton game of like last season. I did think about that a little bit, but at the same time, I knew Ipswich were going to be poor. And to be honest, I did think that they were missing their best player, wasn't it? Delap, he was missing. Mm-hmm. So I thought once that was known, when the starting lineup was there, I was like, "Oh, actually, we got more of a chance here. Not more of a chance, but." It's almost like I don't know what Ipswich would offer in that regards. But once again, it comes back to the delight of the lineup. Because once again, I think we all kind of thought that, I think the whole fan base was like, Tonali has to start in this game. And to our delight, he did again. And it feels like a weird thing we have to like congratulate seeing him in the starting lineup. But, you know, these past few months, we've seen the lineup change every game. And we just can't guarantee who's playing when or who's playing where. So the former now is time to have a bit of consistency because this was the same starting 11 against Brentford, which was a great win in the Carabao Cup midweek. You got to think as well, this is our third game. Now, I think a few episodes ago, we had listed out, didn't we, the 3 fixtures. We listed it out. We had Leicester. It was the Leicester game at home, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. And then we also had the Brentford game for the Cup at home. And then we had this as like the finale, as the triple threat of 3 fixtures. Because we all said, and I definitely did say that, like, have to win all these games, really, in order to be, like, coming out of this a little bit. So there was a little bit of pressure on this game building up to it a little bit, I think. But to the delight, it was sounds like really a domination game. The guy in the main frame here, we'll get into it in a bit. We'll wax and lyrical about him, but it was a really good performance throughout. But I think, once again, the pinpoint, and we'll definitely get into it, is just about our midfield, man. The transformation here. And it's just like, it's been a long time coming. Mm-hmm. I've been wanting to see this change for a long time. We've been begging for it. But like, Sandro Tonali, my friends, is cementing himself in this side. And
we will be talking about Tonali. Yep.
The play. But overall, though, really good performance. Great game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, similar to what you said, listen, going into the game, I thought we'd win the game. But like I said, I did have visions of Luton last season. Ipswich hadn't won at home, so they have to win sometime. And I thought this could be a potential banana skin. But I thought, we had to take the good form from the previous 2 games into this one. And to my delight, we did. And what impressed me the most, that we didn't really get out of third gear. We didn't really need to either. It was a good performance, professional performance. We just dispatched them. And I think the early goal just changed the game completely. Once we got that first goal, there was no looking back. And again, some very good performances across the pitch, from the defence. Lewis Hall, obviously. I thought the centre-backs played well. Tonali, arguably man of the match, if it wasn't for the Isak hat-trick. Jacob Murphy, which we'll get onto as well. So only a couple players really performed a bit below par, which we'll talk about. But it was good to see not only the win, but again, goal difference counts, So, 2 back-to-back league games, or 2 league games, we scored 8 goals without conceding, which is very good considering what our goal difference was.
That's wild, isn't it?
So, yeah. And like I said, the performance of Tonali and whatnot, we will get into. But the clean sheet as well was very important. So, yeah, overall, very happy. What I will say is that, like you said, the 3 games that we pinpointed, we had to win. Not saying it would, if we win it, we've turned the corner, but we had to win those games. If he didn't win those games, the pressure would be seriously on him. What I will say is that obviously I think even on this podcast, we've talked about the fact that the accusation is that, we only turn up against the big teams at home, and we need to start showing that we could beat the lower teams and treating them the same, basically. And we have. And not only that, we've done it in convincing style. So you could say that's kind of like the accusation has been thrown out the window. But, impressive. Whether we turn the corner, we'll get to that anyway, but very impressive. Jefferson?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to add, obviously, to what you guys have mentioned already, but I would say very much, these games are arguably, the givens, the bread and butter. And you could argue that the team has responded to some of those criticisms that we've had, arguably since the first day of the season, when we didn't really turn up against Southampton. And we know that to get those cheap points, or those aces, if you think about tennis, is to get the wins against these kind of teams. And what I would say about our performance is it was energetic, which is to be expected, efficient, and somewhat clinical as well, which, it feels weird to even be saying those words associated with our team so far this season. And in those small cluster of games, those 3 games, it looks like we swung things around, at the very least in terms of goal difference. And of course, like you mentioned, it's always good to have a clean sheet. I mean, Dubravka getting a clean sheet, what's going on here? So when you guys opened up, I was like pinching myself, like, can this be true? And this is what it's come to. In all honesty, this is what it's come to with this team. We're like, wow, they're actually performing against Ipswich. This is where the depths we were at. So listen, we know there's tougher tests ahead, and particularly the next 2 games is going to be the ones that tell us about, okay, is the proof in the pudding now? Where are we at? But I think what I like to see again was some of those combinations working again. We've seen sort of Murphy and Isak linking well. I think Gordon looked more comfortable having to do some defensive work whilst the attacks were heavily on the other side, which is fine. Basically, what it means is we've got more balance in the side. So that's where the efficiency kicks in. And it's about keeping these guys fit and fresh from here on in. And let's see what we can do. I think that respectability of the team's come back for sure.
Okay, so just quickly to our lineup. Obviously, there wasn't many changes. The only change was Willock in for Joe Linton, but that was a forced change. Joe Linton obviously went off half time in midweek and that, and Willock replaced him. So there was no surprise there. Seeing that, were you as once you saw the lineup, were you very confident we could get the job done, or were you still apprehensive, Jefferson, about going into the game?
It's an interesting one. Obviously, you always think about the defense. Obviously, not seeing Delap start is, a plus point. So I actually thought he would trouble us a little bit. And I think this is always going to be a game for the defense to be switched on just in case. They've got slippery players like, the likes of Amari Hutchinson and Sammy Schmodics that could slipstream in between the central areas. But I think when I looked at the fact that you've got someone like Willock that can step in there, for the likes of Joe Linton, he's got that leg speed, that pace and energy to give us that box to box that we need. So I think it's one of those ones where I wouldn't say by Joe Linton not being there that the balance of the team is disrupted. We know that, what Joe Willock can bring, but arguably, we've got a linchpin in Tonali in the team where it then allows Bruno that freedom, and then you've got more of that balance that we're talking about. So the threat was only really going to be if we got caught on the break.
Yeah.
And that will always worry me on the basis that if our fullbacks push too high, we don't have enough speed at the back, which I'm hoping we'll address in January. But yeah, I think the variables were the defense and Dubravka. And ironically, they got a clean sheet looking at that lineup. So yeah, definitely sprung a surprise on me, man.
You know what? The without tempting fate, it seems like we seem to be getting the right amount of players rested and getting a rest just by coincidence. Like Joe Linton, he misses this game, can get a rest going into the busy period. The League Cup game, we've got Cher and Bruno suspended, so Bruno can get a rest. Willock's been able to ease back into the team. Obviously, the main threat worry is a striking position because it's literally Isak. But it seems to be and there was an article I read in Athletic about the influence of James Bunce that he's had. Very, very good, very positive as well. And it seems that him and Eddie are working very well together, which surprised me, kind of thing. And Paul Mitchell has told Bunce that, listen, Eddie is the guy. You have to respect him and whatever. Just you're here to facilitate and help him. But he's managed to influence the team in a positive way. So at the moment, going into this tricky period, we seem to have managed it quite well. And it may be a case of, Eddie, listen, the Tonali thing, I will never agree with him. But going into the busy period, maybe this is the time where we step up our intensity and be able to play a consistent first 11 going into the next few games, because they're coming thick and fast, but maybe they're rested enough to go. So we'll see. Ace, anything you want to add about the lineup before we get into the game itself?
I think you guys covered it mostly, really. But I think, once again, just to echo, I think it was a massive thing to see Delap wasn't on the team sheet. I think it is that number one threat, and he's been dangerous this season. Good player. So, and I think once again, just when I see Tonali on that team sheet now, I'm just like, okay, yes, because I kind of forgot about Joe Linton not appearing. I saw Willock in there, and I was like, okay, I think it'd be okay and such. Because I think before we were thinking that you kind of need Joe Linton for this kind of game with his physique. It's almost just like, because obviously Ipswich is a championship side, and championship sides can play rough. Do you know what I mean? And we did see some examples in this game where they were rough. Bruno would just pass the ball, challenges coming in late, man. I'm just like, what is going on here? Do you know what I mean? It's just like some really rash decisions, and like the ref was just like at sometimes scratching his head, just like, what am I meant to do in this situation? I got to book you. Like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, overall though, I think going back to Dubravka, I have to admit that, like, it's one of those weird ones where I'm a bit like, it's an interesting I feel like Dubravka still hasn't been quite tested yet in goal since he's come in for Pope. So it's really hard to be like, Dubravka's doing well. It's just like,
he's had to make a couple saves though, a couple like near block one-on-ones kind of thing at Brentford, and then a couple yesterday. So maybe we'll get to it, but maybe because he allows us to play a different way, and we're a lot more confident. Our back four seems a bit more confident.
I have noticed this difference of our distribution, and I think few people are noting this as well. There's like the back does seem a bit more confident with him. He's not coming out rashly like Pope, who's just going to come out and header it randomly. He ain't doing none of that. He stays
and he can play with his feet.
And he plays with his feet as well, right?
Yeah.
So, and when he actually throws the ball out, it's going to man's feet. It's not like, because I love Pope. We all love Pope. He's an excellent shot stopper. But there are times where Pope distribution, You see
It's
the ball
awful.
the ball just go off the pitch. And you're just
You
like,
cannot,
what?
you can't hit a man.
And it's just a balance. And I feel like maybe we're looking at that. Pope is the really great shot stopper. Dubravka's best with distribution. So it's almost just like if we had to put together the Frankenstein of the perfect goalkeeper, you need a goalkeeper who's great at both of those things. And I'm sure we're going to get into it in a bit because the rumors are circulating again. The rumor mills will come to January for a transfer window. James Trafford's been mentioned again about potentially won't be after him. I don't know how I feel about that personally. I'm
I heard
reserved.
Spurs want him. I hope Spurs get him. I heard Spurs want him, so maybe Spurs should take him.
Let them get him. Let them get him, please.
And we will. And I have to say, today is Sunday, and there's some good football on today. And
we're going to talk about some of those games.
I've seen a home side today concede 6 goals at home. Right, we've got to talk about
one
it.
Get clapped at home by 3. So
exactly. And these are 2 oppositions we've got to face coming up as well. It's all adding to the cauldron, man. It's a good recipe. Let's go.
All right, so let's get into the game and the highlights of the game because the game literally blew up after 25 seconds, And the thing, I think Ipswich took the center. So we get the ball, Fabian Schär, and this was the theme for the game. He's pumped it long out wide to Murphy, and obviously he squared it. He tried to he's targeting Willock, but defenders intercepted. It's fell to Isak, bang, great finish as well. 1-0. Obviously, it's gone to VAR for about a couple minutes, but they've allowed the goal.
It took so long on VAR, long.
But
it really stifled things a bit. Yeah,
but good run by Murphy onside. But listen, technically another assist, but we won't count that one because it took a deflection. But listen, good work down the right hand side and a good finish. And Isak in great form at the moment, doing what he does best. Puts us 1-0 up, and then. After that, before the second goal, we had a couple of opportunities as well. Namely, Isak. This always happens. We get 1-0 up, and then Isak misses a sitter. Yeah, again put through 1-on-1, and he didn't get enough on it. He tried to spell it. He put it in the keeper's arms. Yeah.
What is it with the 1v1s at the moment with Isak? Like,
I don't. The thing is, once he starts putting them away, problems. Yeah, absolute problems. But he has to start soon because. Not every team is going to give you chance after chance after chance.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost thinking like even the last 3-4 games, he's getting 1v1s on every game.
That's what I'm saying. For the last,
we're creating opportunities.
It started with Chelsea. The guilty chances that he's getting. It started at Chelsea. Then he had Chelsea. He had Brighton. He had West Ham. He had who's the other one? Leicester. You know what I mean? It's
every game,
Every game he's having one.
But, every game he's getting 1v1. So anyway.
Yeah, but listen, he's scoring. And we'll get to Isak also. We'll give him his praise that he deserves.
Wax lyrical, boy.
Yeah, but there was another chance that we missed as well. I don't know if it was the one that Gordon missed, the header. I don't know if that was before the second goal, but he missed that header.
Yeah, that was the one where Murphy just kept it in.
Murphy, and then another long ball over the side to Murphy, and he's kept it in, and he's put it at the far post, and it's harder to miss. It was harder to miss, but that seems to be the theme of Gordon at the moment. You know what I mean? He's not taking the chances that he should be scoring. But yeah, listen, but you felt that we had to get a second one just to make the game comfortable. And that's when the boy Muric just gives us the ball. Yeah. Was it no, it's Murphy. Murphy got the second one, didn't he?
Murphy's next.
Yeah, he lashed it in, didn't he?
Good work by Gordon on the left-hand side, cutting inside. And what Ipswich were doing defending, I think he beat about 3 men just running in a straight line. Yeah. And then he's passed it to Murphy. 1 touch, bang, good finish. 2-0. He don't really score tappings, Murphy, does he? Like he tends to lace that ball, but
I will say this: like it was a great goal, but it's one of those goals though where it was a thin line between you could have missed this because the way it hit the bar, right? I was like,
nearly went over it. Just
that's it.
It's one of those ones. It's one of those ones where, like, if one of the ones where like if there's a little bit of wind that day, that is going over. Right?
Maybe it would helped him this time because it was torrential rain, windy. Maybe it helped him because
just like I don't know, it's a weird one. And I was just like, it was a rocket though. It was a great goal. Like
credit to him.
Okay.
But yeah,
when he was just like
yeah, and we'll get to that also. But the third goal, that was the one when Gordon beat the man, whatever. No, sorry, Muric gives him the ball, isn't he? Again, fighting around at the back. Again, when you're 2-0 down and you're under the cosh, what are you doing? Like these relegation threatened teams that
clear
they
your
think they're
lines.
Barcelona, bro. I don't get
Just
it.
clear your lines.
Like you've played it straight to the man who's under pressure from Bruno straight away. Good work from Bruno, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And he fell to Isak and he sat the keeper on the floor and he slotted it bottom corner. That was cheeky. That was a cheeky footage.
I do think
He
there
sat
is.
the defender and the keeper down, didn't he? Or was it just the keeper?
I think it was just the keeper because he's by himself. I think.
But there is definitely a theme this season where I'm seeing like these teams that come up from the Championship, and it's almost just like they see the theme of like how we play in the Prem, right? Everyone plays it from the back. It's just the same methodical way. And like these teams are trying to like recreate that, but they can't quite recreate it. Because I'm telling you now, I've seen Southampton do mistakes like that.
No, Southampton are the worst. They are the worst
Right.
because if they can't have their mistakes, they'd be safe.
In the back, and then like, bro, it never works. They go sideways. It's just like,
do you not think? Just a side note, do you not think it's because of the managers? Yeah, everyone wants to be Pep Guardiola, whatever. But the way they play, the managers, they want to do that thing because they know even if they do that and get relegated, a bigger team will see how they play and pick them up. Yeah, look at Vincent Kompany. Yeah, he got them relegated. Yeah, got the Bayern Munich job because the way he plays.
Madness.
And that's what I'm saying. More like Russell Martin, I'm telling you, he will get a job probably in the lower lanes of the Premier League soon because of the way he plays and his philosophy. You know, clubs want a manager that can do that, and they think that with better players it will be successful. And it's not for every manager, but you know, we're in this trend at the moment where the manager's not looking about the results of the team. It's like my philosophy. It's about my philosophy and whatnot. But
the only two teams I can think of historically in the Premier League that have gotten promoted and played their football and played good football is Fulham in, I think, 01-02 under Chris Coleman and Swansea under Brendan Rodgers. They're the only two teams that have been able to come up and then just kind of play up.
Because you look at Thomas Frank. He played that way in the Championship, right? But as soon as he came to the Premier League, he's like, nah, this ain't working. Yeah, let me mix it up because I want to stay in that Prem. Yeah, and it's worked. Brentford can play football, but predominantly they know how to mix it. Yeah, and it's been effective. But it seems like every other manager has brain farts and just want to just mess around. But it is what it is. But listen, that was 3-0, and that's effectively game over. I think big up Specs, Jordy J TV locked in.
Specs.
MVP Murphy.
And we've got Mighty Mag Win in the house as well.
Yeah, big up Win as well. But we'll get to Murphy as well because you know what I mean. He's a lot. He's been a talk of the tune at the moment. Big up Double D.
Double D.
What up?
But yeah, listen, 3-0. Game's effectively done. I think Ipswich had one real opportunity in the first half when the ball's rebounded off to Gnarly and then they played it through to I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was. And Dubs has made a good save. But literally,
I think it was Schmodic. He rushed out, didn't he?
Yeah, but that was it. And then the second half starts, and that's when I actually put a bet on Isak to get a hat trick and him to get the next goal as well. So I got a bit of money on that one. Yeah. So
my man.
Yeah. But yeah, listen. Again, first of all, before that, actually, we had that good move that we put together, and it's gone. I think Tonali's played it out to Lewis Hall, and he's put it across to Bruno, and Bruno's gonna dive in header that's gone off the post. Had that gone in, because the move that we put together for that
was football. That was
scintillating football. And that's what Tonali brings. Yeah, that's
also,
what Tonali brings.
It's what Tonali brings, but also Bruno being further up the pitch, man.
And why? Because Tonali's in the six. Because Tonali's in the six. It allows Bruno to be up there.
Such a great
Eddie needs to pay for his crimes, mate. He needs to pay for his crimes. But anyway, that's a conversation we'll have a bit later. But,
we'll get to that.
But yeah, the fourth goal comes, and it was a good move. And then I think Isak lost the ball, and it's fallen to Murphy, and he's driven into the box. And the cheeky assist, bro. The little backheel chop. Listen, if that was any other top player, like a Salah, De Bruyne, or anything, we'd be talking about that for days. Yeah, for days. And listen, the finish itself as well from Isak.
How did he find the space?
Listen,
he didn't even put his leg back. If you look at it, he didn't put his leg back. It was just like he got the shot off just under his feet. It's mad. I don't know.
Listen,
you see how packed the box was? There was no room to move.
No room.
How did he get the space and then just?
Only a certain amount of strikers can pull that off, you know, in the Premier League. And there's only one, and that's it. Yeah, because no one else ain't doing that. No one else ain't doing it. Forget your Haalands, whatever you want to bring to the table, your Jackson. It's not happening. Yeah, that's an Isak special. Listen, I think I
We're
put
gonna
in the group.
Jackson. We're gonna get to Jackson because
Because we had a conversation in the last pod. Boy, about who's gonna score
He's
more.
overtaken him now, isn't it?
yes,
He has.
Isak now has 10 Premier League goals.
Yeah, he equaled his tally from the first time when he landed.
What we saying, boys? What we saying?
He's catching Haaland. But anyway,
But
that's another
Haaland's
getting
got 13.
He's getting
Haaland's got
20.
13.
He's getting 20. He's getting
Oh
20.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, double D. The lap can do that. Relax. Yeah, relax.
Whoa, what?
The lap's a baller, but no.
So that was missing, man. He was missing.
But yeah, that was the hat trick for Isak. Like we said at the beginning of the show, first Newcastle United player since Jose Perez 5 years ago to bag a hat trick. You know, done it before Callum Wilson. You know, who I thought would have done it by now. But
I know. I can't believe Wilson never got a hat trick.
do you know what it is? And whenever he gets a brace, and that's with Isak as well. When they get a brace, Eddie takes them off in it. Yeah, and you forget Wilson also be played before Eddie Howe. He was playing under Steve Bruce. Yeah, so the chance of getting a hat trick very slim. But you would have expected him to get a hat trick by now, but it hasn't happened. But glad for Isak. I don't think that's going to be his only hat trick
behind him, isn't it? As well.
Yeah, something like 3 goals,
in the Premier League.
In the Premier League or something like that, I believe so. Yeah.
Scary.
Oh yeah, we do have the stat
Scary.
actually, and I'll bring this up now because this is a stat that really kind of like started to blow me away a little bit as we speak about Alexander Isak. Now, this is the most Premier League goals scored in a calendar year. So we're talking about a year, not a season, a year. And currently for 2024, Isak has 23.
Can I just say?
Go on.
Messi got 91. But anyway, that's just a madness.
Anyway. Listen. I'm not. Listen. Messi's different. Like different planet,
man. Well, if we had Ibar, Leganes, who's all them other teams? Yeah.
Or Messi's ability.
My man would have 60 or 70.
Not even Shearer, but not even Shearer getting any. Yeah, Shearer might be getting the same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo, 69, wherever it is, but he's not touching 91. But anyway, we digress. But I don't think Isak is gonna match Shearer because he's got 2 games to do it. Yeah, and that's against Villa. And
I don't know.
He could bag against United.
Listen.
No. He could get a brace against Villa. He's capable at home to Villa. He's capable of getting a brace, but I just don't think he'll. I think he would. He would equal or just get one more than Andy Cole. Yeah,
I don't want to get too far ahead on his podcast, but like, I saw the state of Man United today. I saw the state, and I told you guys.
You did.
Everyone was like, Amarin's coming in. He's shaping up. I'm like, no. This team is not
for a good team, you know.
Listen.
I know.
But listen.
Right now,
but listen, as crap as Manchester United are, we're gonna go there and play defensive football. We're gonna sit back and try but we're not gonna attack them. We are not going to attack them, and they're gonna beat us 1-0 or 2-0. We're gonna get a draw. We're not winning there. We're winning there because
Eddie has to go for the juggler,
and he's gonna rotate. I bet he rotates.
Man United are currently sitting in 13th position in the league. They got to go for the juggler. And I tell you what, it does depend.
We need to go for the jugular, but Eddie Howe's not going to do it.
It does depend on our Villa game, because if we beat Villa, bro, this team is on one. So we have to. It's all about momentum, isn't it? Because I do feel like if we draw or lose against Villa, the momentum dips, doesn't it? You're like, but at the moment, I think the momentum is with us. The wind is behind us, and our sails, you know, it's just going full steam ahead. But this state of Man United. I'm sorry. I looked at Man United today, and I was just like, credit to Bournemouth, right? Bournemouth are a really great side. People are ignoring Bournemouth. People are ignoring Forest right now. People are not really talking about their teams for some reason. But anyway, I looked at that team today, and I was like, bruh, if you come in against our team right now, we should be bagging 3 against them at least.
Bro,
we have to put it into context, guys.
That's what I'm saying.
We have to put it into context.
When have we won against Old Trafford? At Old Trafford, apart from that cup game, when we rotated heavily, when have we won at Old Trafford? I think Kabay, was it?
Against Kabay, 2013.
You know what I mean? We have a horrible record, bro. Yeah, and I'm telling you, Eddie Howe. We'll get to that game later because I've got a theory about Eddie Howe in these games anyway. But we'll get to that anyway. But we got a comment from Mukhtar. Hold tight, Mukhtar.
What's
He
happening?
said, "Gunman, the best striker in the league. Dare I say, no other striker can play like him. Magic in his feet, cool in front of goal, can create like a midfielder, can dribble like a winger, unplayable." Listen, I could not agree more. Yeah. We've been saying from time he's the best striker in the league. We said at the beginning of the season, he's the best striker in the league. Yeah? He can do things that Haaland can't do. Yeah, Haaland, don't get me wrong, goal scorer, but for the attributes alone, there is not a striker in the league.
He's more dimensional than Mbappe, Isak.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Because Mbappe has to hug the left side. He looks lost if he plays through the middle. You know?
Yeah. And if you notice now, it's not just Arsenal talking about Isak come to the Emirates. You've now got Liverpool, man, talking about, how much can we get Isak for? Man United, can we get Isak? Yeah, even Man City fans, maybe Isak fancies the trip to the Etihad.
No, that's ridiculous.
If they stump up 150, if they step up 150,
don't even give it to him. No.
If it ain't touching 150, forget it.
He's the one player. Don't get me wrong, he will leave. Yeah, but he's the one player I say, throw the kitchen sink at him, give him whatever he wants. Yeah, he's the one player I will be pissed if we sell.
This is the thing. We do know at the moment there have been contract talks with Isak because something has to be done, doesn't there? Really.
We have to show the ambition to keep him because he's a Champions League striker.
Well, he wanted the 400 grand, didn't he? And we basically pulled out.
I think that was nonsense.
Negotiations, wasn't it?
No, there's no way
I don't believe that. I don't believe
that's
that.
what Craig Cope was saying, wasn't it?
Craig Cope is an idiot. There's no way he's asking for the highest amount of thingy in the Premier League. There's
400 bags.
400.
Yeah, that's what Salah's asking for at the moment as well.
And Salah deserves it. Isak, sorry, as bad as Isak is, we're giving our wage check. Don't get me wrong, Isak should be our highest paid player. Yeah. But you're not asking 400 grand. No, that's ridiculous.
Remember when David De Gea got that at Man United?
But this is how stupid that sub is. Yeah, how stupid that sub is.
Pulled up this quote. Double D, you need to get back in the box, man. You're talking about.
Sanchez got 500k. Yeah.
I said, you know what to do? Handle the transfer request. Relax, bro. Relax.
If he wants 400k, we've got to sell quite a few players. Like,
listen, sell the stadium. Yeah, keep whatever you need to do, bro. You know what I mean? But
to be honest, if we sell Trippier and maybe a couple of more, that will free up some wage space, definitely.
Hey, sell Lloyd Kelly, yeah, because he's 150 grand a week. You're taking.
Oh my god!
Wait there. End up like Winston Bogard.
What about Lloyd Kelly?
Give him and target wages to Isak. Yeah.
Wait there. We got to address this. Lloyd Kelly is currently back of a milk carton. He's gone missing. I actually forgot him. I forgot about him. Where is he?
Bro.
He's on the sub. Where is he?
Shall I tell you where he is? Waiting for his next start at the Emirates in the League Cup. Yeah, that's where he is. Yeah, because when Fabian Schär suspended, who do you think's coming in? Yeah, him. Yeah? Pray for us. Yeah, it's going to be a long night. But anyway,
at least it's the first leg at theirs, isn't it?
We got an advantage.
Yeah, Mukhtar's also said, he said, Isak is Madrid level. These broke Prem teams can't afford him. I agree. They can't afford him. They can't. Yeah, it's who can afford Isak? The price we're going to put on him, no one in the Prem could afford that.
Yeah, it's going to be like 200.
Don't get twisted. Arsenal are broke. Don't get twisted. He cannot spend. Arsenal cannot spend.
Also, Arsenal are broke, but also there is pressure on Arteta right now. There is pressure because he spent like 600 and whatnot. I don't know, some crazy figures on this team, and it's looking like.
No, but he's won 3 trophies: the FA Cup and 2 Community Shields. What's he doing? What's the problem? He's done his job.
Bro,
No.
Was it 60 million on Havertz? I thought you're not.
They need to win the league, D-man. They need to win the league.
Yeah, but they got Jesus, they got Trossard.
This was the season they're meant to win the league, but then Arne Slot come in and said, "Fuck that, I'm taking over this show."
Like
now, it's interesting.
The league belongs to the Baldies, mate. It belongs to the Baldies.
And I think it was yourself, wasn't it, who was saying as well I think was it you who used to say that, like, fans now are turning on Arteta as well. They're saying
Yeah.
the same thing of like, this guy might have just reached his
Same
level
problems.
and go beyond. And this is
You know
like,
what I mean?
it's a very
Yeah.
similar thing that we have with our own manager. And they're saying about Arteta's now doing predictive substitutions. There's no different style in play. It's just like, very interesting.
Yeah.
Iraola is a great litmus test. Look at Bournemouth now. They're playing a completely different brand of football.
Bro.
Yeah, they look a formidable unit that works.
Apparently,
well.
they
They're
did the
fifth
wrong
in
thing,
the league.
sacking the English manager Gary O'Neill. Apparently,
This is what I'm saying. This could be us. People are living for the now. They're not seeing the future. This could be us. We know this. Yeah. People
listen,
getting gassed because we beaten two, relegation
slow down,
for the
slow down,
team.
slow down. We're gonna get to
Yeah.
this.
Wait, we'll get to it.
We didn't finish the game yet.
All right. Sorry, man. The villains started coming out.
But, nah, listen, all right. So after 4-0, the only thing to talk about was the fifth goal. Well, we had a few opportunities, made the sub now. Now, my thing is though, again, we talk about this every week. What's his problem with Osuna, bro? What's his problem? Because not only have you kept Isak on for too long, right? When you do take him off, yeah, you put Gordon in as the striker. Well, we're 4-0 up. We're 4-0 up. This is the perfect time to give this man a run out. And I see people talking about, because he gave the ball away against Brentford for the goal we conceded, he's punishing him. What is this?
Nah, it is nonsense. You know what? Come on, guys. It's just like we are literally 4-0 up against potential relegation side, and
this brother can't
you got to bring Osula on. I feel like it's the perfect example. You have to bring him on.
I'm telling you, bro.
I feel like the way that we've been on for frigging weeks about Tonali, now it's going to be the same for Osula. I'm telling you, it's going to be the same. We're going to be like
Hall. That's how we treated Lewis Hall, isn't it? Lewis Hall didn't get real game time. He had a couple things and then got taken out of the team. That's what you're going to do with Osula. We ain't seen Osula till next season, bro. We're not. And I tell you what, I keep saying, bro. I keep saying, if you don't start him, no. Listen, I keep saying, if you don't start him against Bromley, yeah. That's when you know, bro. If he don't start up against Bromley FC, nah. Osuna should punch him up.
I expect we got to save Isak's legs in that game. Like, don't.
We have to. But he might put Harvey Barnes up front.
Bromley are going to be.
I would rather Harvey Barnes central than Gordon. Gordon is not clinical. He can't finish packet crisps. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Listen, before we wrap, obviously Harvey Barnes I think the goal that Burns scored, yeah, and he got disallowed. Harvey Barnes should have shot that. He tried to square it when he threw on. Bro, what are you doing?
I was thinking, why did you square it? It was really, I don't know.
But,
it was a weird one where it was a bit like, I don't know if he felt like there was too many bodies, because there was a lot of bodies in that box, man. It was congested as hell.
Right. But listen, the goal got given for offside, unfortunately. But listen, great win. Let's talk about the performances, because we talked about Isak, yeah. We've talked a bit about the Bravka, right? Now, just quickly on him, because I think Mukta's left a comment. He said, dare I say the Bravka's actually decent, calm on the ball, always relieving pressure off his defenders, always providing options to our centre-backs. Pope has a meltdown every time he gets the ball. And that's listen, first of all, I think both of them should go in the summer, yeah, and we need to upgrade. However, the Bravka, my worry about the Bravka was, given what he did when he came in last season, yeah, and he was atrocious, yeah. I thought that pattern of play could happen again. Now, listen, it's early doors, but what we've seen from him, like we mentioned earlier, he brings a level of calmness to the back four. We play a different way. The back four seem to have confidence, and maybe it's the introduction of Tonali as well, but they've got confidence in what's behind him. That the Bradford doesn't move like a headless chicken.
He's making everyone play better, my guys.
And what's happened is because of Tonali, he's making everyone play better, and we're more defensively solid. Dubs had to remember, last season he was facing shot after shot after shot. So the ones that he was letting in were really magnified. Yeah. Now he's only having to make 1 or 2 saves a game, right? So he's a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident. Right?
He was averaging, I think it was some crazy stat of like he was averaging like 20 shots received per game. It was like
didn't he concede 3 goals a game or something?
It was mad. Bro,
it was mad. We went through a really like bad time because remember we were injury ridden as well. So there's no, I don't know. But like going back, as I said, like when the news of Pope was going to be injured, I was mad nervous about the Dubravka situation. I was just like, this is the last thing we need.
Yeah.
Just like switching
Yeah.
our keeper out. But I go
But
back to the point though, he
Yeah.
still hasn't been tested. This Villa
That's
game
what I
and
was
Man
gonna
U
say.
game
Yeah.
will tell us a lot.
Yeah.
It will tell
The
us a
next few
lot
games,
about our
which we'll
goalkeeper
get to as
situation.
well. But okay, so Murphy, before we get to tonight, let's talk about Murphy, right? Because I thought this was one of Murphy's better games. I know we scored the brace previously, but this game here, like, listen, Murphy is not the answer to our right wing's problems. Let's be honest. But what Murphy gives you is effort, goals, and like Jefferson mentioned, the link up with Isak seems to play better when Murphy's in the team. Yeah, the link up that he has, and
They
not
got
only
good
him,
relationship, I know.
Tino, Bruno, and Murphy on the right hand side. We now have, listen, remember before that, everything was going down through the left. Everything was going down the left, and teams just knew how to play against us. Now we have an option on the right. Yeah, we're a lot stronger now that Bruno's been pushed further and he's on the right side of midfield. We have the right side looks quite solid now, and they seem to be linking up very well. And like I said, Murphy, the numbers that he's putting up at the moment are very impressive. And to me, Murphy can be used in a 3 to 4 games stretch, yeah, and perform well, especially against the lower teams. It's when we face the bigger teams, yeah, consistently is when his deficiencies are magnified, right? Now, you have to also put this into context, right? Murphy played out of his skin yesterday, and some of that is because the Norwich man played against Ipswich, yeah. So the rivalry, right? That's when he's pointing his back to the shirt when he scored and that, like,
I know.
you know what I mean? It upped his level, but credit where it's due, you know. Since and you have to give Eddie Howe credit for bringing him back into the team and sticking with him and finding that solution, because like I said, you know what I mean. So, but he was garbage before, innit? He was, yeah, he was. But now that we've got a consistent team, everyone seems to know how to play with each other. Because it's no coincidence that when the subs come on, the level just drops. Like we look a bit more disjointed. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put on one particular man, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's
Don't name him. I'm not
going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But until later. But it's credit where it's due, man. Credit where it's due. The numbers that he's putting, I think he's got, was it 3? How many goals he scored for us now? Is it 3 goals and 3 assists or something in the last few games or something like that? Something like this, like that. He's doing the job.
And already,
I think 2 goals, 3 assists.
I think he's really met the quota of the chances created of what he reached for the whole of last season, apparently.
Yeah.
Something like weird like that. And I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But apparently, like, he's already met that quota already. So he's currently outperforming his last season.
Yeah. It's funny though, because now that we've got players that are comfortable in the ball, right? Especially when Botman comes back. Botman, Hall, Cher, Tonali, Isak, Bruno, yeah. When the ball gets to Murphy now, it's gonna look so mad awkward, bro. It's gonna be so mad awkward.
That's why we have to get the right wing. And also, just to say, I know that in the Newcastle transfer sphere, there's always something going on. There are rumours that we're in the field already looking for a right wing player who looks quite tasty.
Yeah, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, man, because
I know. I'm not banking on it, but
yeah,
I think it's good to hear rumors like that. It's better for me to hear rumors like that than to hear rumors about Calvin Lewin. Am I right, guys?
Yeah,
right.
And that Monaco kid, wow!
Yeah,
I watched
him.
Phenomenal. He's phenomenal. That kid.
These are good rumors to have to circulate around our club.
Listen, I just hope we get 1 or 2 in, so we can shut up the people that were criticizing Paul Mitchell, yeah, before he even got here, like before he got his feet under the table. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping we can get 1 or 2 in. But
I still quite understand that. But I've said my piece before many a times. I don't want to get into it now.
But before we want to move to other players, anything else you want to say about Murphy?
Go on. That alone, I think, it has to be potentially goal of the month. And I think it's got to be there for goal of the season. Surely. I'm not saying it should win it, but it's been in this. Isak's 3rd goal.
Oh, the assist. Okay. Yeah.
Dancing through those players, back heel, and then cultured finish.
Mad.
He compliments Isak well, you know.
You repaid the favour, innit? Remember Isak's assist to him against Everton that time? Yeah, so he maybe played the favour.
Number one clip, boy.
Yeah.
Number one clip.
But all right, let's talk about, if it wasn't for Isak, man of the match hat trick, let's talk about, I'd say the real man of the match, Sandro Tonali. Yeah, because
Boy,
another masterclass in the midfield. This he's completely transformed our midfield. Yeah, and this is what annoys me.
One man.
But this is what annoys me, right? Because I don't know what episode, Jefferson, you might be able to, but what episode we started talking about this brother, yeah? And we said, put him in the 6, put Bruno up top. And I said, I particularly said, when we need to have control of the ball and dictate play, Tonali needs to be in the team. Yeah. Why has it taken Eddie Howe so long to come to his damn senses and put him in the 6 and Bruno in the 8? Right. To me, but listen, he takes the play. Yeah. He can link up from the defense to the attack, the quick passing, the recovery, yeah, the interceptions. He bullied them. Remember, like you said, Jefferson, the championship team, they're very physical. Brother, he was bullying them. One man bullying all of their midfielders. And the interchange with Bruno, you know, one goes forward, one sticks back. The passing between the two, whatever. Telepathy, it's working.
The levels, man. It's the levels, bro, my friends.
And I keep saying, we have a midfield duo that can chat to any midfield duo in the Premier League now. We do. Yeah? Long may it continue. The next 2 games will show us how good they really are. But from what we've seen at the moment, remember, they was against Liverpool, the best team in the league, and they bullied that midfield. They absolutely dominated that midfield. So it can be done. Yeah? Eddie Howe needs to pay for his crimes. I keep saying it. He needs to pay for his crime because that is unforgivable. And what also annoys me, and I keep saying it, these other podcasts that I've seen, yeah, who are criticizing Tonali. What does he bring to the team? Why are we wasting all this money on him? Blah, we're not seeing anything. Blah. Now, whole episodes, Tonali's this, Tonali's that. And I'm using comments on all of them, you know. I'm glad you lot came to you lot sent this because I've been screaming at it for months. And you lot telling me, oh, he's not this, he's not that. But now, he's the guy. Yeah, he is our best footballer in the team. Yeah, and the team needs to be based around it. Don't get me wrong, Bruno the captain. We need to keep him, and we'll talk about Bruno in a minute. But Tonali dictates the tempo of that team. Yeah, the man plays. He plays on a different level, man. Plays on a different level.
I think I do want to share something with you guys. This is really, really interesting. This is now we've been talking about this so many times. It's like a repeated thing. And just for anybody new here to 90s Mags, welcome to the show. Hope you're enjoying it. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and whatnot. But here we are looking at basically our most shape of play, let's say, within this game against Ipswich. You can see that Tonali as an 8, and in the middle there, everything is going through him. And it just shows how much of a linchpin he is within this side. Because before this was like non-existent. It was like, I think Bruno obviously was doing his best in that position. But I think what we realized, because when you have Tonali not in the team and then Bruno sits deep, there's then no one there to even service Isak, which we knew Isak was struggling with service, and then you change up the right-hand side. So a lot of the times Isak was isolated. So because of Tonali in here, we're allowing ourselves to have that cover where he is so disciplined as well. If you check all the time that we attack, Bruno bombs it forward. Tonali's a little bit more reserved. He stays back. Reason why he's able to score goals like against Brentford, because he's outside the box, because he's a little bit further out. These are the little tiny little bit of details. But I think it's really interesting to see in this, because now what we're looking at potentially as a little bit of a shape now is almost like a 4-2-3-1 almost a little bit here. Obviously,
look where Bruno is. Look where Bruno is, and look how close he is to Murphy as well. I remember Jefferson, you spoke about the link up between Bruno and Miggy when we was in our championship, our run to top 4 and that. It's similar to now with Murphy now. Like Bruno, and that gives Murphy the confidence as well. Like when Murphy's very, unless Murphy's like, you know, when Shell pings the ball off him and he can run onto the ball. When Murphy's on, unless it's like that, Murphy, if you notice, Bruno's very close to Murphy, so we can do that link up because Murphy's not good on the ball. So Murphy needs company, and that's where Bruno comes into it. And obviously got Tino bombing past as well. So it worked. I mean, you give Eddie Howe credit for working on the patterns and stuff. You have to give credit for that. But again, with Tonali in the team, it's different. And also, if you notice now, there's all this talk about, Tonali wants to go back to Italy. I see Liverpool fans talk about, right, they're gonna find it hard to hold on to Tonali now. Everyone's paying attention to him. Everyone's realizing how good this guy really, really is. Yeah, that just goes to show.
I'm seeing a lot of other fans, Liverpool fans, some of you good ones out there on the social media. You know who you are. Shout out to Rebecca. Those who know her, she was even complimenting, saying that Tonali is so good, and I think everyone's seeing it because once again, people. It's about, I know people before, because when people were criticizing him, they were like, he's even got no goals, he's got no assists. I'm just like, oh my God, if that's how you judge football games, if that's how you judge football games, you shouldn't be able to comment on games personally. You know what I mean? You're not knowledgeable on that subject personally. Because Tonali does a lot off the ball. He does other things. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I would say, Jeff, so what do you want to say about Tonali?
Yeah, just to say, I just think people got really short memories that Tonali won Serie A. Tonali was captain of AC Milan. Tonali was one of Europe's best midfielders, if anything, 2 years ago? And I remember everyone was really shocked when we signed him for 55 million. It was like, rah, you signed AC Milan's captain. Like, what is going on? Like, your project's in full flight. And yes, he had his suspension, but it feels like there's some really short memories there about how good he is. So I'm happy he's finally getting that chance to do that. And you could argue he's very much a complete midfielder. He's not the type that will score you a lot of goals, but he can create, he can control the tempo, he's press resistant, and he can play with a high press as well. He can command an area, he can sweep. So, he's comfortable in collecting the ball. He's got recovery pace, leg speed. So, yeah, he gives us a lot of freedom and confidence. And you can argue as well, he's starting to show that he's a bit of a leader on the pitch as well. He's having more influence. And the interview I think we saw with him and Bruno midweek after the cup game, you could see a little bit of emotion as well coming out there, but a lot of professionalism. So I'm really happy for him. In terms of Eddie, this is what I put out to fans, right? How can they not see these performances now and be vexed that he was left out for so long? I want to hear the excuses for this man, because this is what I'm saying. If you can't see what this guy can give you and you're not selecting him, then there's a huge problem there, in my opinion. And then you're playing the likes of Longstaff over him. Very, very, very short-sighted. And these are crimes. Yes, crimes. I think he should actually pay for, because what could potentially happen? This is like
sentence.
Speculating here and looking far into the future. Let's just say we have a similar season to last season where we miss out on 6 by 3 points. Whose fault is that going to be? Because you look at these marginal differences. This is what I mean about having a better caliber of manager, because I can guarantee you, we have any other manager other than Eddie Howe, they're not leaving this guy out for as long as he did.
And just to add to this, what I do fear, let's say we do bring in a right-wing player, like some of those rumored players at the moment, and we're going to see this right-wing player just be benched.
Murphy, you know it.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like it was the same with Bruno as well. When Bruno came into the team, Bruno was just
started, bro.
Bruno was just benched, and I was just like, "Why are we benching this guy?" And I was thinking, I know my man might be quite raw at the moment, but he's so talented. Like, give him man game time. And at the moment, we're seeing the same for Osula. So unfortunately, I just think this is an Eddie Howe rhythm. And I know some fans are saying out there, they're like, "Oh, you guys don't know about football, etc." Like, Eddie Howe and the team, their coaches, they know what they're doing. They work with them. They're trying to embed them in at the right time. But I'm sorry, guys. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Tonali's done more in his young career than what Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall have done in their whole careers combined, yeah? Because the highest level that I think Eddie Howe played was Championship, and he got injured. It was a career-ending injury for Portsmouth. So we're talking about players with League One standard, and they're trying to chat to a Serie A winner and Champions League semi-finalist, Italian international, that he's not ready for the team and all that. Shut up, man. They need to shut up, man.
And remember, the man had 10 months off. 10 months off to be fit, training with the team.
He was 10 months training with the team. 10 months. Because it's like, What the hell what was going on in 10 months? Because honestly, because in the summer, when we recorded in the summer, when we first started this podcast, we said that our expectations is like, you know what, we're so thankful that Tanane is going to come into this team now because we should now see a much stronger midfield. But what happened? He just wasn't really brought in. It was just weird, wasn't it? It was just really like, what is going on?
And then when he did bring him on, he put him in the 8 and Bruno in the 6. And if it didn't work, he just again benched him again. And you know, it wasn't making any sense to me.
It's just a really weird one. And I think we all, and that's just when that goes back to the whole criticism thing, because I feel like there's definitely a thing in the fan base of like, oh, people like targeting almost like those who were saying Eddie Howe out. I mean, when we were going through some turmoil and stuff. And I will say this out loud now, it's just that every single manager deserves criticism. Every manager deserves to be criticized when things are not going well. And things are not going well because the manager's decisions. Because let's face it, guys, right? Like I said before, the pattern of play is just that changing the team lineups every now and again. 4 games ago, it's not long ago, guys. 4 games ago, I think everyone honestly was saying it to a point that no one could say Eddie Howe knew what his strongest 11 was. He didn't know.
It's true.
Early in the season, he was swapping out Lloyd Kelly with Hall a lot as well. People forget about this, right? Hall was getting like replaced and coming in and out a lot, right? We saw a little bit as well with obviously the Barnes and Gordon. They're playing on the left, they're playing on the right, they swap them, blah, 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 blah. That was a thing as well. We've been missing a lot of different stages that's happened this season so far in terms of like almost a massive like, what the fuck is going on? Like literally, what the fuck is going on? And also, I want to add to this as well. This is the season we've had no Europe competition. We have less games. This manager has X amount of days in the week to train with the team and to figure out what his proposal plan or starting 11 is, or what is the strategy to go against oppositions. So when all these months, all these like games and weeks of like the mishaps, the misfortunes, and I do think this start of this season where we fucked up, it's a massive fuck up. I think it is going to bite us later in the season because look at this table, right? It's so tight.
It is tight.
People are thinking Forest and Brentford are going to knock off the perch quite easily. Not Brentford, sorry, Bournemouth. They're going to be hard to knock off the perch. I'm telling you, because people are just underestimating them.
So they've got good squad. If they can get through this December period, especially Bournemouth got a small squad on that. If they can get through this period, that's they are officially a problem because they've got very good managers, they've got good players, and they know how they've got a style of play.
It's not easy because this is the league at the moment where like you need to win, and we did it before. You got to win 3 games on a bounce, really, to start making a difference. But it's really hard to do when you got teams like Forest now. I think you're right now as well. I was about to say that. I don't think 3 wins on the bounce is even going to be enough now because it's so tight, guys. It's so tight. We got some favors today because Tottenham lost. United lost. So we're not in a good position.
Brighton drew as well, didn't they? Fulham drew because Fulham were ahead of us as well.
Yeah, so like
we got a good
Fulham as well. They're really close by us as well. So I feel like those past games where we didn't know what was going on with our lineup, we don't know what was too much was inconsistencies and the drop-offs and stuff, and I think it's going to bite us later on down the line.
Go from here, innit? But just quickly, before we go quickly on Bruno, Mukta raised a good point. He said, "What's happened to Willock after his injury? He looked lost, mate. He was one of our worst players this game. He looked unbalanced, falling over on the floor all the time." Listen, he didn't have a great game yesterday. He had that opportunity when he really cut in, doing what he does, and then he skied it. But Willock's, it's a tricky one with Willock because, again, I've always said he brings something different to our midfield. But with the injuries now, I think Eddie is managing his minutes, and I don't think he sees them in our strongest lineup. But unless Willock gets a continuous run of games, I don't think you're going to get the best out of him. Bringing him on a sub, starting him here or there, I don't think that's the best thing for him. But I get it, because he's injury prone and also the team is performing, arguably when he's not in there. But I think we'll get a bit more chances over the next few games because of the busy period.
Dare
But
I
still
say
think he's
it?
got a role to play.
Dare I say it? He might be a prospect to sell in the summer. Dare I say it?
I got
Dare I
he's
say it?
he's one of my personal
I-
favorites in it. I don't
I-
disagree with it, but I think it'd be a shame for to me to see him go. But I don't disagree that I think he might be one that's in the shop window.
Yeah, because I'm talking about we got to look at a situation where you also want to keep your best players, but then you want to sell certain players that might have a bit of value. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Trippier's not going to have value. Wilson's not going to have value. To be honest, I'm like, some people might should be down for this, but I think Longstaff might have some value to sell if you sell him.
He might have value in January because Miley's come back. Miley came back and had a few minutes and did look tidy. So the more minutes he gets,
I
the more
right
that
as well,
Longstaff
man. Bulking out a bit now as well. I'm like, yeah, man, this guy, he's the future of our team as well. We always said that Miley is he's gonna be the future.
Just quickly, Wynn came in about the Forest. He said Forest have a nightmare February fixture, including playing us up here. Can see them fading off. Interesting. I mean, see how Wood carry on if he can carry on scoring because he started to tail off a little bit, but if he can get back to because he's going to start scoring again.
This is the thing though. Everyone thinks they're going to fade off, bro. They're fourth right now. For Christmas.
That was us a couple of years ago.
And they can afford to have a couple slip ups and then go again. So you know what I mean.
And this is the first time they've been fourth for 30 years. I want to give a shout out to
my squad. Everybody forgets they bought 26 players or whatever it was. They have a massive squad because they've got a wicked midfielder who's been injured. He done his cruise shirt last season. What's his name? Is it Danilo?
Yeah, Danilo.
He's not been there. He's a phenomenal midfielder. That Awaniyi, he hasn't had a run of games, but they bought him for like 20 plus million. He got like 15, 20 goals in the Bundesliga. They've got Hudson-Odoi on one wing, Elanga on the other. They've got players.
I'm telling you, people are just underestimating, and I'm kind of seeing it from a distance. I'm like, because the thing is, I watch all the Skies, but we all do. All the build-up and that. It's obviously we know we're Newcastle fans, right? But build-up is always bias. It's just bias to the teeth, man. And I'm like, there's no shout-outs or not re-acknowledgement of how good Bournemouth are right now. That build-up to the Man United game, bro, they were just like so much like praising Anna. Oh, blah, 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 oh, this team, blah, 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 blah. Bro, Bournemouth come up and whip them 3-0.
Dismantled them.
3-0 on their own turf.
Again, because they did the same thing last season, didn't they? But
exactly.
Let's talk about Bruno quickly before we move on. Because like I said, he's now in the advanced position. He's now putting up the numbers as well to go with the performances, the assists and the goals to boot. Do we think, obviously, we like to see him in that position for the remainder of the season, but how good is he in that position for you guys?
Amazing. I can wax lyrical about Bruno if you want me to for my little piece. I'm going to add to Jefferson, but I'm just going to give you some little stats, right? On the game against Ipswich, he had played for 84 minutes. He had 61 total touches, 39 out of 43 passes completed, which is 91%, 7 recoveries, 6 duels won, 4 chances created, 3 interceptions, 3 fouls won. He does this every game, and 1 assist. I always praise Bruno. I think he's always he always does his best of what he can do. And I think at times when he had struggled, and I think there are times where like his performance hasn't been great. I feel like sometimes as well we've relied too much on him in the past, and he's surrounded by sometimes. It's almost just like if the other players are not performing, he can't do it on his own. It's just too hard.
Tonali takes the pressure off him.
That's my next point. Thank you, sir. Tonali's taking the pressure off him, and because now he's able to get a bit forward, he's got that freedom. And Bruno is a man with a good pass to assist. So I think naturally, with Tonali now in the position of a 6, Bruno's going to pick up more assists, and I think that's winning my bets now for the rest of the season. I'm not going to say it's going to skyrocket high and be like most assists of the season, because there's some other competition in this league right now that's got high level assists as well. But I think naturally we're going to see him getting a lot more improvement on his game. We're going to see him taking on more shots, more chances on goal. He did the header against Ipswich, hit the post. It's just like
That ball that he put out,
we were never seeing that before.
that
We were
first
never
time
seeing
pass that he put out on the outside of his boot in the second half, that was phenomenal.
bro.
Absolutely phenomenal.
He loves outside the
I'll
boot
say
passes.
it again. People don't realize we have, again, not even just one of Europe's best midfielders, one of the world's best midfielders. When he was playing defensive midfield last year, and he got 17 goal contributions as a 6. Yeah, and I think it was 10 assists, 7 goals. So if he's further up the pitch now, expect those numbers to go up. He's only just got started, guys. He's only just got started. As long as he stays fit and he doesn't get suspended, I'm expecting a good second half of the season from Bruno Guimaraes.
And it helps that him and Tonali and Joe Linton have struck up they brought him under the ring in the friendship group, the Tonali. So it helps that they're good friends, man.
Brothers.
You know what I mean? Listen, we just got to enjoy it while we can, because the band's not gonna be together forever. But
I do want to add as well a little bit. Sorry to interrupt, but this week, once again, he was in the news because he did say about, like, you know, basically just saying how happy he is in Newcastle and that his family's a Geordie. You know, he's just like I said, guys. I think these guys are not silly, man. They know what happens and been said on social media. They know the nonsense rumors of, like, Bruno might be going this and that. You know, because I think the whole Man City thing was swirling around, and even I touched upon that subject a little bit of, like, ooh, I don't think he'll go in January, but, you know, if they really go after him, they might just go after him. But the fact he's come out with that kind of statement just to say, like, how happy he is enjoying his football here for the club, and also respect to Bruno as well. I'll go back to that game where, you know, we weren't doing well, and he gave a interview after a game, and he said that, like, the performances are not accepted and this and that, and he was just honest, you know. And I think I really appreciate that. And I think a little bit now we're starting to see more of him almost becoming quite a leader for our team now, because he is captain as well. Because at the beginning, let's be honest, it was a bit of like we weren't too sure about his leadership within the group, but I think I'm starting to see more of a leadership within him now. I think you can see it. It's really starting to, like,
he's embracing it now, isn't he?
He was very protective over Tonali in that interview, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Quite protective of him.
Exactly. And I think those small pieces, it all contributes to personality and also attributes that goes on the pitch and off the pitch, in my opinion.
All right.
I just want to say one thing before we close off. AC sort of, I'm happy that he sort of accentuated his points, very valid as well. But I feel like he went around and I was waiting for it to come back. Now I've heard some stuff. Now we get good reviews, we get good feedback. Obviously, people that jump on the lives and have jumped on the lives or message us on WhatsApp or whatever, that give us the support. We very much appreciate that. But we're also very aware that there's some haters and there's some people that chat a lot of shit and they don't know nothing about football. And I'm putting it out there because AC was, you know, a bit shook to say. I'm going to say it right now. I ain't happy, mate. So these people that are chatting fraff, yeah, come on the 90s mags and let's have at you, mate. Yeah. 2, 3, 4 of you, come. The 3 of us will deal with anyone on this show. Come, because there'll be rock bottoms, stone cold stunners, choke slam, all round. You lot are gonna be getting put through tables, mate. Yeah, come. That's all I got to say about that. And if you ain't coming, hush.
You heard it from the man himself. Yeah, come on.
That's all we got to say, really.
All views welcome, innit? Yeah,
that's all we got to say.
But listen,
you not know who you are. Anyway. They know who they are, innit? They know who they are. So
of course, innit?
You know what to do. Come online and let's do it live. Let's do it live. Let's see what you got. Let's go.
I'm outside.
Sorry, I went all Tupac
like
again.
Jada said, I don't do Instagram. I don't do Twitter. I'm outside. Right.
OTC.
Right. Let's talk about the next 2 games that we've got. Yeah, because we've all said, you know, listen, it's all good beating the lesser teams that we've failed to do previously, and we've done it well. So that's one tick checked. But the next 2 games will show us where we really are, right? So we're home to Aston Villa on Boxing Day, and then we're away to Manchester United, right? Now, what for you, because for me personally, a minimum of 4 points is what we need from these 2 games. Yeah. I don't want to have 1 win, 1 loss. Yeah. If we're going to be taken seriously, if we've turned the corner, if we can get a minimum of 4 points from this, then I will start to think we've turned the corner. Yeah. But if we don't, nothing's changing. Yeah. So this is the true litmus test. I know we've got Spurs after that. We can come to that. But those 2 games before the year passes is what we should be really judging it on. Right. Now, how do you guys think these are going to go? Jefferson, I'll start with you.
I think I think it's either going to be 2 points or 4 points. I don't think it's going to be 6. I think the Man United games are always spicy and tight affairs. So despite us coming into it in better form than they are, you know, there's something there about Amorim maybe stifling Eddie as well. But the Villa one is the one I'm afraid of because they have very good players. Actually. They have a lot, you know, in terms of the squad. They can make those changes and they're going to give us a really, really tough game. They've got so many threats you can have nightmares about. And no doubt they've been kicking on since Boubacar Kamara has returned from injury. So I'm not surprised by that at all. So the Villa game worries me the most. So yeah, I'm going for it's going to be either 2 draws or a win and a draw. I don't think we're going to have 2 clean wins.
Right. I think. Listen, I think we're capable of getting the 6 points, but I think it's more likely to be 4. I do think we beat Villa. Like Mukta said, Aston Villa's high line excites that we do well against teams like that, right? Man United, I'm not so sure, especially in their home ground. And I share the same sentiments. Villa will be a tough game, right? Both teams go into this with confidence. You know, they've just beaten Man City, right? We've just obviously on the back of the 3 wins that we've got.
What does that mean? What does that really mean nowadays?
It looks like our point against Man City is a poor one. But anyway, but now with the confidence of the likes of Morgan Rogers, yeah, this is where the midfield battle is going to be key, right? Because they've got Tielemans and they've got McGinn, Rogers, whatever.
Yeah.
Joe Linton should be back. So Joe Linton, Tonali, and Bruno. This will be the test for them. Now, I believe with the likes of Murphy, Gordon, and Isak, we can exploit that high line, right? It's just that our midfield has to be on it. They have to be on it because I think both teams score, but I think we're capable of scoring more. As long as we don't have a Christmas hangover, because we know what happened on the day after Christmas last season against Nottingham Forest, right? We can't have that, right? We have to be on it. I think the crowd will be up for it. You know, we can go above them if we win that game, right? And that will be a huge confidence boost, right? The Man United game, this is the one I do not trust because, like I said earlier, I think Eddie's going to play defensive football when we should be going for the jugular. We should be going for the jugular against the poor Manchester United team. We're all over the place. They can't play Ruben Amorim's they ain't got the players to play his formation at the moment. They get it. They give you chances. They give you chance after chance if you take it to them, right? But I just see something about Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad.
I was going to mention him, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just, I can see them just shit out in the wind against like a 2-0 or a 2-1. I don't know. But the way we're playing, we're capable of getting something from there. But I would like to see us go for it and get the 3 points. But I'm just not sure, man. I'm not sure. But 4 points will be decent. 4 points. Just avoid defeat and get a win in one of them. You know what I mean? It's good because we don't want to going into Spurs, away to Spurs, low on confidence. Because as bad as Spurs score goals. Yeah, they put 3 past Liverpool. No, they can't defend, but they put 3 past Liverpool.
You see the thing about Villa that worries me is where you've got Kamara and McGinn, who are both physical and tenacious. So basically, 2 of them is arguably one, sort of like one Tonali. They've got them sitting there. Then it allows the rest of them to push higher up. And even if we do press them, because of Watkins' pace beyond, they can go long. And
what can start because Duran seems to be.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Even if he does start or they start, they've got the option where Watkins plays centrally more now, he can go left and Duran stays middle.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they can pull us in different directions. And it's not really Lewis Hall I'm worried about. I'm worried about Burns' lack of pace. And I'm worried about Tino and Cher's concentration. I really am
yeah.
worried about that. So they've got different ways that they can play against us and they can match us physically. So I'm really, really worried about the Villa game, to be honest with you. I'm not saying they're going to smash us, but it could be a demoralizing defeat in terms of knowing the importance of that game. I think, however, if we win it, we know that we've got momentum going into the transfer window. Could be massive.
This actually could be. I know it changes all the time of like how important games are, but this could be. This is almost like our next very big important game, because I do think it does. It's important for us momentum going forward beyond this, because the Man U and then the Spurs game. Personally, I think with Villa at our home ground, I personally feel like we love to play Villa at our home ground. I think in the times in the past when we felt a little bit nervy about Villa, we always turn up. We always turn up. I'll never get like last season, first game of the season.
That was a shock. That
I
game.
was nervy, man. I was nervy.
Yeah, that was
And
mad.
then Tonali just like scored. I was just like, oh.
I bet he scores again. I bet he scores again, Tonali.
I think,
Yeah.
and I feel like Isak will create some opportunities as well for us. And I think it's quite difficult. I don't like going too far in advance of like win, whatever. But personally, I think we can beat Villa at our home ground. I think it is possible. It will be tough, but I can see our midfield just turning up. I can see Joe Linton putting in a shift, actually. And also because he has been rested. Well, mind you, he's been injured, isn't it? So it's a thin line in it. We don't know if he might come back or not.
Yeah.
But then reflecting the Man U game, this is the one for me, which is like, right, personally, for me, it's just like, if we had to like draw a game, I would rather draw against Villa. I want us to beat Man United, personally. That's me, right? Because I don't like Man United. I say it proud off my chest. Don't not like Man United. So
I hate
if
them.
I want to take a scalp, I'll take that scalp straight from their head, right? At Old Trafford. Because personally, they were atrocious today. I don't care anyone says, right? And I called it out. I said their defense is not great. And Jefferson, you did say that, like, now the defense is starting to look all right a little bit. The three at the back and that. No, I'm not
They're
buying
rubbish.
it.
Manchester United are rubbish. Yeah, player for player, they're rubbish. Yeah, they can't defeat. They can't defend set pieces. Yeah, they don't create much anymore. Well, at the moment, they're not creating much. They've got Hoyland's trash. Hoyland's garbage. Yeah, he's not suited for that team. I don't know what it is, but he goes missing. And if you look at where he plays, he hides behind centre backs. He's too busy trying to tussle with them rather than making the intelligent runs. You've got Garnacho, who's overrated. Yeah, Rashford can't even get in the squad. They've kicked him out. Yeah. What have they got?
They ain't got nothing.
Amad Diallo.
Amad Diallo.
And Ugarte is a very good defensive midfielder. He just needs a partner next to him. And we know that Kobe Manu, as a young player, he's going to be, inconsistent.
And he's in a bit of a dip of form at the moment as well.
This is my thing about Man United, because the way they're praising my guy and of last season, the young boy, Kobe Manu and this and that, so much he got put into the England team, right? I'm seeing this next bit of like, you could call it like, what do you call it?
Like a come down.
No, but the next player, propaganda about this next player, about they're not having this player. No. I'm just like, bro, it's the same. This is the main. I'm telling you now, right? Because I hear all these pundits, they're all pushing this agenda on us of like, he's the next thing. He's the one to take Man United forward, bro. I'm not having it. We're gonna turn out. I really want us to beat them. I really want that.
I thought we will beat them.
The classic clip of like Kevin Keegan is like, I will love that. I mean, that's me right now. I'm like, I am looking forward to that game, and I think for our fans here, I think we're gonna say it now. I think I can just say it. It's just that obviously that game's on the 30th, and I think what we're gonna do as a special 90s mag, we're gonna hop on the live stream straight after that game. So, guys, come to tune in. We're going to be here for some real raw reactions. You obviously might see us crying or smiling, but hopefully smiling.
And by the way, if we get any less than 4 points, I still think Eddie should be sacked. Sacked, mate. Yeah. Sacked.
Should be, but he won't. Should be, but he won't
Sacked.
because he's going to get the January. We know he's going to last the season regardless. Yeah, regardless
Yeah,
of
I
what we
think he's
feel.
here for the whole season now. I think that
Yeah.
whole thing about him possibly going, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, just quickly, because the most entertaining game was the Spurs versus Liverpool game today. It's finished first 3, Liverpool 6. Absolutely diabolical defensive performance from Spurs and Ange. But that's what. Are you not entertained? Like you said, yeah, we're very entertained. But you're garbage.
Defending is so bad.
Absolute trash.
So bad.
But credit to Liverpool because they were opening like a can of beans. Bro, you could take picks of Bosley, Diaz, Salah. They were just taking liberties with them. That ball from Trent, yeah, I think it was the first goal. I think it was
The first goal, ridiculous.
Disgusting, yeah. Liverpool are balling right now, yeah. Well,
Oh,
only certain teams can hold them.
To be fair, though, to be fair, I mean, obviously, I didn't watch the game. I've just quickly had a look at the lineup. To be fair, they had Jed Spence at left back, Archie Gray, who's very young, who's meant to be a defensive midfielder at centre back, and Dragusin, who's solid, but they didn't have Romero and Van de Ven. Would have been very interesting if they had their starting centre back.
So this is what you do.
3 out of that back 4 are atrocious.
But this is why this is why Andrew's a dumbass. This is why he's a dumbass. Yeah. If you know you've got them injuries and that's the line you put up, why are you trying to go toe to toe with the best attacking team in the Premier League? It makes no. That's who we are, mate. You're an idiot. Yeah. Sit back, defend, and try to hit them on the break or something. Yeah. But you think you're good enough to go toe to toe with them? They picked you off like, and he fell into Slot's trap because I think Slot made some comments the other day about how can you play too much attacking football? He's all praising Ange. The man took the bait and tried to do it. You absolute fool. Yeah. 6 goals at home. You can see 6 goals at home, and it could have been more. You're an idiot. You're an absolute donut. Yeah. Donut.
I know you wax is a good lyrical there, but I have to say as well, it's the way the goals are conceded, man. It's the way the goals are conceded. When I watched it, I was just like, bro, this is like not easy to take right now.
But you know what's funny? Bro, from Liverpool past the halfway line, I'm saying to my son, watch this goal. Watch this goal, yeah. And lo and behold, they kept on scoring. But what you could see them coming from a mile off. Absolute, bro. 6-year-old could defend better than that. Yeah, disgusting.
I just want to give condolences to our friend Darren T, who was on Twitter, man, and he had to like leave Twitter. He was just like, I'm gone.
I've never understood. You know, when you've got injured defenders, we've talked about it. Just play one centre back and play the 2 quick fullbacks next to them. Do you know what I mean? I feel like teams are afraid to play 3 at the back. I think 3 at the back solid.
But
I've never understood it. They just go flat 4 or nothing.
Bro, the amount of attacking players this brother had on the pitch, and he's an idiot. He's an absolute fool.
I have to admit, it's one of the things where, like, because I do hear from Tottenham fans, they're just like, they're sick. They're like, we play only one way. It's just like, but this is a classic game. Like you said, D-Man, I totally agree with you. It's just like, Liverpool they're the best team not the best team in the league, but they're just like,
no, they're the best team in the
league. They are. But what I'm saying is as well, there's just that which is obvious, isn't it, by the points tally, etc. But they have the best attacking threat. The way they get up the pitch, man, is scary, man. It's just like, if they catch you off guard, you're a mess every time.
You see the level that Mo Salah's currently playing at? Jesus Christ. I think I've seen a stat.
Is it 24 goal involvements?
It's madness,
and it's
bro.
broken the record for the most before Christmas. Is it 15 goals, 11 assists or something?
Bro, listen to this. Yeah? Listen to this. Yeah? Thierry Henry. Listen to this. Thierry Henry, 377 games, 228 goals, 93 assists. Mo Salah, 373 games, 229 goals, 103 assists. Yeah? Salah's a goal scorer, 103 assists. Levels. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The level that he's playing at, what age is he now? 30, whatever it is, and the level that he's playing at. We ain't seen this in the Prem before. We have not seen this in the Prem before.
He's carrying, I think, to an extent as well, in an attacking sense, he's carrying the team. I think actually his performances is slightly masking over a few frailties that they still carried over from last season.
Yeah.
And it would be scary to think actually where would Liverpool be without Mo Salah and his goals
And
this
the dope thing
season.
is, he's playing deeper, than he usually does. He's playing a deeper role, and he's still putting up them numbers. Ridiculous, bro. And against big teams as well. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This guy, I'm sorry, at the rate that he's going, he deserves the Ballon d'Or, the next Ballon d'Or. If he continues at this rate, there's not a player in Europe that's touching
they'll
him.
give it to an African player? Well, good luck, mate.
George Weah. What? No.
Oh, yeah, true. Since 1995.
But he's so, at the moment, the level that he plays, he's so clear of everybody else. There's no one near him at the moment. Nobody. Yeah? Who's playing near to that level? Lamine Yamal. Like, you know what I mean? There's nobody.
What, 30? Is Salah 32?
Yeah, 32, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like you wouldn't even think it.
I would love to see him win it, man.
Down,
I would love to see him win Ballon d'Or. To be honest, I feel like it'd be a great nod to his whole career in
100%.
a way, because I feel like he's a player that he's consistent as hell, man, but he just gets unnoticed. I feel like it's really weird. It's really weird.
And the brother's got no AFCON this January, this spring. So listen,
I know.
Scary times, mate. Scary times. Yeah. But listen, we covered a lot today. Obviously, we're gonna leave it there. But thank you all for joining in, the comments, listening. You know, it's going to be available on audio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Before we sign off, just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, wherever you're celebrating it. Celebrate with your loved ones. You know, take some time out, enjoy the festivities if you can. Not an easy time for some people, but
watch our content.
Yeah, lift the spirits and that. But yeah, and we look forward to the game on Boxing Day, and we will review that. But yeah, until then, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Salute, people. Merry Christmas.